Alright, it is Christmas Eve. We're playing some Red Dead Redemption. Last episode, I lost all of my money playing Liar's Dice. So I'm hoping to cheat at Liar's Dice a bit by using Safe Scumming today. We need it as part of a side quest. And I'm going to try to go do a bunch of other side quests in the meantime. Let me take a look at my map here and see what I have available to do. Too honest to lie. Exactly. I think this is actually Lights, Camera, Action is in fact Liar's Dice. Let's see what else is on the map. Did we establish that some of the strangers don't show up until you're somewhat close to them? I remember thinking that there weren't that many left on the map. Other missions that aren't marked, okay. Not particularly. I'm not a big holiday guy. I already took a week off for Thanksgiving, which was fine. My mom is a holiday person. I am not. Pull up a map. Okay. Probably look at the journal. I could also, like, systematically walk around the entire game world and see which ones I run into. But I guess I'd have to check the map constantly to do that, which would be a little silly, so... I see. Seems like it's the most significant side content of the game. Whoa. Good job not going off the edge there, horse. Usually don't sell there on the 25th. Interesting. And we're gonna go over to Cat and Donovan, our friend's house, for some gift exchanging this evening after stream. I might actually wrap it a little bit early for that, since we've already gone over a couple days.
What brings you out this way?
What you searching for, partner?
I've been gathering some flowers for my wife. She's waiting for me back in the cabin.
That's very sweet of you.
And we've been together 50 years now, me and my darling Annabelle.
Turn it up a bit.
She's always loved these
So I'm dropping some frames. It's nothing super severe, but I'm keep an ay on it.
But she's getting on now in years, and it's hard for her to get up and about. So I wanna bring her a lovely bouquet for our anniversary.
I've seen quite a few flowers in my travels, if you'd like to help.
Oh, yeah. Listen, these old fingers ain't what they used to be. Yeah, I'd love it. Sure, bring me any pretty ones you find, huh?
That's a cute little side quest.
Something else I can do for you, partner?
Gather flowers. How many of those do I already have? Some? Wild feverfew, red sage, desert sage. Okay, got that one. I need one more desert sage, one more red sage. Pretty much just find those when you're wandering around, right?
Come on! Let's go!
Let's see about pulling up a stranger map here on my Chromebook. 1 second.
Don't feel right here.
Map, strangers, gamepressure.com. Alright, looks like there's a specific one for each sub area. So there should be more up in the northeast corner, unless if I did them already. But I guess I'll just try to visit those locations. I don't want to get too close to my house here.
Come on. Whoa there. Come on, easy up there. Come on.
I'm good, dude. Alright. Five-finger fillet is a mini game. I'm actually trying to figure out, like, what's the radius at which I can start to see strange requests. I probably did all the ones in Blackwater, or at least started all of them. The only other one should be up here in Manzanita Post. Guess I'll let the game GPS me over there real quick.
Yeah. Come on.
It's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes, but I was kind of enjoying not having a direct GPS option in Deadly Premonition. I'm actually curious at what point during development Rockstar decided on including it in here. It seems that a lot of this is just ported directly from GTA. But for all the like arguments over flavor, you'd think that that's something that would be an early, easy cut for immersion. But then it runs into the same problem where it's like you're automating something that's easy. Hey, thanks for the follow, man. Hey, Six Gun, how you doing? I think it's just one of those game design trade-offs that once you add the GPS, something is automatically lost, even if it's made more convenient. Let's see if it projects any strangers near me. There should be one around here-ish. Maybe that's more southwesterly. Oh, West Elizabeth counts as a separate zone. Okay, hold on. Tall trees. There's one kind of like over here-ish. And then there's one down here-ish by the arm wrestling, but I think I already did that one. So I'm going to see if I can find the one that's like over here-ish. Let's see. I think it's fairly close to where I'm supposed to progress the plot, so I don't want to get too close to that.
Let's go.
Well, there aren't really very many quests or any quests in the game that are built around people in the world assuming you don't know where you are or where you're going, right? Like, no one ever really gives you directions. Say, oh, go down the road and then take a left.
Ah, here we are.
Because everybody has built-in red line GPS, right?
This looks like the one. Let's go.
See, doing something like having GPS be like an unlock in specific regions after you've done a certain number of things there to represent the fact that the protagonist knows how to get around. past something.
Might as
Golden
well.
current. That's interesting.
Come on.
The precedent is something like Tomb Raider revision, which is a solution to detective mode in I think there's a strange request for me to do here. I'm gonna keep going east. See what I gotta pick up in Blackwater, and then we'll fast travel somewhere.
Come on.
The implication of detective vision or Tomb Raider vision is that like there's something that Lara Croft can see and notice about the game world that the person holding the controller can't. Whereas here it's just kind of a way to make general navigation boring.
Perfect.
It's so close to fast travel without actually being fast travel.
Let's go.
The game does have fast travel also, so it's not like it's one at the expense of the other.
There we go. Come on.
No, that's not the one I want. So I'm gonna try to keep an eye out for the herb indicator.
Come on.
I think last episode we did all of the stranger quests in Blackwater. I just wanted to come here and make sure, since they don't display until you're somewhat close to them. Oh, looks like there's one I still have to do. Prohibitionist. Glad I stopped by.
Come.
Sip not from the devil's cup. You, a scum who can become as angels if you just put down the booze. We are campaigning in Congress. We will save this nation from itself. In the land of liberty, men should be free to live soberly, without fear that the perils of drink may overcome them. Do you like what you hear, sir?
Not particularly. You'll take away our last freedoms, friend. Freedom to forget about our troubles.
You don't have troubles, friend. You have all the joys of heaven here on earth if you just put down the bottle.
You don't know me so well, friend. If you did, you'd know how moronic that sounds.
I, Abner Forsyth, am not afraid to be called moronic, sir.
That I don't doubt. Good day, sir.
Oh, it shall be, sir. When we live temperately alongside one another, you are doomed. Doomed!
Winkin.
I can see that I have piqued your interest, sir.
I get that Prohibition didn't work, but I still find like the way alcohol slots into normal society very odd. I guess I only find it odd in the sense that we choose to prohibit all sorts of other things that are like less impactful. So like if we had a system where all drugs were legal everywhere, then alcohol being so like normal. Wouldn't be so weird to me.
Help! Help! Anyone! Some damn thief just took my horse!
Not even just normal, but like slotted into like professional situations. Like it's not unusual to be expected to drink at a business function. It's really weird to me. Imagine if you went to a business function where everyone like did acid or something. That sounds great.
Hey, mister. I heard about you. Sure you did. You that boy killed Bill Williamson over in Mexico. No. Got me mistaken, partner. I ain't. Boy told me all about you as soon as you come to town. Town? That's what you call this? What's wrong with cesspit?
Family? Call that? On the floor over there? Family?
You know, I saw you talking to that Abner Forsyth. Who? The temperance movement man. The man trying to put me in a poorhouse. Oh, yeah. Interesting fella. He's Jeremiah Somerset's pawn. The industrialist wants the state to outlaw public consumption of liquor.
Why?
So he can make a fortune selling personal gin stills.
Oh, that's a
Bar owners like me begging in the street.
treat to many people, Mr. O.
My heart bleeds for the three of you. I just can't figure out which one I dislike the most.
I love this guy.
You kill Abner Forsyth, I'd do right by you. Need to find yourself someone else. Kill him.
I think there's a reason why cookie dough is such a popular flavor. Warn Abner or kill him. Oh, he's not very far from me.
Like I said, I'll make it worth your while.
I think I prefer cookie dough to cookies in most cases.
If it isn't our doubting Thomas. A sin, a sin, a sin, I tell you.
Hey there, Abner.
Good to see you, my friend. Decided to join me and recant the evils of the bottle?
Keep wishing, friend. You better move on soon. Fellas around here want you dead.
Oh. I guess the path of God will lead me elsewhere in this benighted kingdom. Thank you for sparing the life of a poor servant. Kindly take this.
Take care of yourself, Abner.
Chopsticks? Fruit roll-up? Money, okay. Decidedly more useful. Fruit roll-ups are a scam. I'm not sure if they're a snack outside of the US, but it's like a sheet of like fruit snack. Like imagine a little baggie of fruit snacks that's been mashed into a sheet, and claim is that a person is going to tear out the little shapes that they've etched into the fruit roll-up like stencils. But nobody does that. Everyone just balls the thing up and eats the whole ball. Hey, what's up, sir?
Ding, 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 ding.
What's going on, Six Gun?
Look where you're going.
Oh, I have to go tell him that I failed this quest? Okay, thanks.
Come on. Come.
You did tear out the shapes? Nice, Robin. It's also bad about fruit by the foot. It's a fun experience.
Marstead! Hey, mister, I want to talk to you.
What is it?
I heard you tipped off Abner Forsyth after I told you to kill him. Now he'll be spreading his nonsense all over the territory.
I ain't here to do your dirty work.
Oh, yeah? Well, you can forget about drowning your sorrows anywhere around here. Round here, it's gonna be double the going rate for you.
So
Okay.
be it. Go.
Oh, I'm at max honor. Huh. I really didn't have to do any side quests for that. I guess other than the stranger quests, but... Alright, so my understanding is there should be another quest down here somewhere. We'll check for it, and then if it's not there, I'm gonna do some fast traveling. I'm gonna go there manually now in case I walk past the herbs I need for this other stranger quest. A real paragon of virtue.
Yeah. Come on.
So I know very little about, like, the history of logistics or, construction, but, like,
Come on.
were all paths at this time in this part of the country desire paths, or was there anything, like, you wouldn't make an official road, obviously, but would the government, like, send people out to just walk a path back and forth in order to force a road in place? That makes a man turn neutral. Lust for gold?
Let's go.
Easy.
Come on.
Desire path is a weird word. Oh, really? I think I learned it, saw some post that was talking about desire paths at universities. Specifically, I think that all of in like the Commons area of the Ohio State University where my wife went to grad school, everything there is, like, all the actual pavement was paved over desire paths. Let's see, instead, should be one over here in Thieves Landing. I'm reading that right? Head over there and see if it triggers. Stomping path, that makes sense. Don't run into the lake, that would be bad. Follow the GPS. Good little protagonist. Yes, go Bucks. Roads, hopefully traffic desire paths for constructed roads. Even in, like, the Wild West, though, I wonder how early into settlement you start thinking about making heavily traffic desired paths or constructed roads. On the part of the government, I mean. Like, obviously, if if you have a settlement, there's going to be desired paths no matter what you do. At what point do you start making a concerted effort? Okay, no stranger quests here. Let's see what else do we got in this area. Henniganstead proper should have some. Or, yeah, I'll just head over in that direction. I wonder if when you pass the stranger for the first time, then it marks it on the map, like once you've seen them in your radius, you get a permanent map marker. That's only if you've actually started the quest with them. Sell rights to build the road. Change for land with the right to collect tolls. Oh, interesting. They're permanent when you discover them? Okay. Which is why I had some on my map earlier when I was zooming out searching for them.
Yeah.
Roads actually predate settlement. Interesting.
Go.
So you start wanting to do that first. Hey Kai Mom, how you doing? Alright. None in Henniganstead. Let's see. Might be some like southwestish of here, like down here. Near Coots Chapel. Ancient Aliens did a good job.
Yeah.
Woof.
Come on.
I wonder if they went through this game and made sure that all the tree branches were just high enough that you wouldn't, like, slam into it like a cartoon character and go flying off your horse. I've got one to do over there. Let's see. There might be one up here-ish. Go do these purple ones down this way. Nice.
Let's go.
You guys having a feast for Christmas? Yeah, and the fact that I'm looking for herbs helps a lot. US Highway, the Cumberland Gap falls on the Colonial Era Highway. Follows a game trail. Desire path for deer. Interesting.
Come on.
I know some of the East Coast cities in the US are a nightmare because they've built the highway system on top of like cow paths and old desire paths. Awful to drive on. Boston is a city planning hellscape.
Let's go.
Oh, it sounds delightful, Kaimo. Hey, thanks for the follow. Pre-Eisenhower interstate system follow annual trails. I assume that's true for like nearly all of Europe then as well. It's been settled by industrial nations for so long that... Alright, I think I already had plenty of wild fever few. I need the 2 kinds of sage. It might be somewhere else on the map. I might look that up later if I can't find them during normal exploration. Beetroot casserole. Never had that. Sure. I guess I was curious if it's possible to say which comes first, whether like your first focus is on building roads so that you can so that you can stimulate the economy in an area where you want to stimulate it, or if the economy like grows around an area that doesn't have efficient travel yet, and then you make the travel more efficient there. Like, I'm sure it varies from place to place. I don't have a way to get down there, do I? Guess there's not a specific side quest down there, it's just a general area where I expect one to be. Try running around the top. I did record more World of Warcraft at the Romanian. I don't know if it's all on YouTube, I have to double check. I beat Battle for Azeroth, but I ended up just recording the, like, first impressions of each expansion because it was a lot of content. Probably check out WoW Classic at some point and record that. I've got a model for recording free play MMOs now that I've done this old school RuneScape playthrough. That will suck, do you know that? Put down the Bollard gang. We'll try. Oh shit, wow. I never really read the, like, red screen health system in this game. I think that's partially by design. Oh no. Oh dear. Please tell me this entire session didn't just get rolled back. Okay, so it did register me picking up that quest. It's a good sign. It won't show me ones I've completed, right? I think I'm okay. I don't think I lost any progress. I'll have to double check through what I have stored in my machine at the Romanian. Didn't get a ton of traffic on the World of Warcraft playthrough, so I ended up not loading most of it, but I might be able to put it on like a side channel or something. My current approach for recording MMO content is to fast forward whenever I'm not talking, so if I were to do more World of Warcraft content, I'd really do it that way. But you should be able to see my first reactions to, like, I think Cataclysm, Mists of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor, and Legion. I think that's all on YouTube. I hadn't yet figured out how to, like, do MMO content, because it's pretty different. Social club challenge, what the... Okay, well that's not a stranger quest. So. Yeah, just there, Manny, if you go to Marstead.com and scroll down to World of Warcraft, there should be a playlist that just has my reactions to all that earlier WoW content. I think this one I already have. Excerpt. All things Mars and all things Ted. I do really like this vista here. I can tell they were proud of it. Alright, I probably need to make a campfire to get down. Thank you. I'm sure there'll be more WoW content in the future now that I have a better sense of how to publish it. Alright, let's see. Hey, it allowed that as a campsite. I think armadillo stuff I need to do there. I think I've ever seen an armadillo in this part of New Mexico. We have coyotes.
Yeah. This ain't looking so fine for you.
Hooray!
Come on, then. I don't do so good when I can't move free. Come on.
Not at all.
Let's go, shall we? This ain't right time.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Come on.
That was an easy one to comply on, so... With the, like, kind of MMO theming of the new Jonathan Nolan Westworld show, it's kind of hard not to envision some of that in this game. So NPCs are just waiting around for me to show up.
Here you go. Do what you want with it.
That's the spirit that made this country great, Par. He'll taste some armadillo justice.
No, try refreshing. If you can't get to it, there's a link under the stream, Matt, that just says games. Click on that and try scrolling to the bottom. Should be a link to the YouTube playlist for World of Warcraft. Thank you, sir.
It's Mr. Famous. Come on.
Cobblestone dates 4000 BC, wow. Yeah, I guess roads tend to be the egg more so than the chicken.
You okay, lady?
My husband's
Really?
missing. These bastards won't do anything. But he's a good man.
Well,
He
fine
don't
for me.
drink nor lay with whores. And he's been missing for 3 days.
Incognito, too.
Let me guess. You went missing up in the hills?
How did you know, mister?
Just a guess. If I find him, I'll bring him back to you, but people seem to go missing up there.
Oh my God. If he's gone, then what'll I do?
Good question.
We ain't got much money. And I'm in the family way again.
As I said, I'll do what I can.
Go search for the man by Hanging Rock. Can I pet the dog? This game is unplayable garbage. They just recently added the ability to pet the dog to RuneScape. They did it for a Christmas event, and now they're polling if people want to like make it permanent or not. American Appetites, Water and Honesty. Where is Hanging Rock? Oh, up here.
Come on!
GoDaddy's not great. Northeast of where I am.
Go!
Please, help me. I've been attacked.
By whom?
Oh, mister. Some city fella just attacked me and broke my leg.
What?
He broke my leg. Some city fella. Guy got kind of creepy on me, and then he got violent.
When?
Just now. He ran off that way. Can't have gone too far.
If I find him, I'll bring him back this way.
Thank you, mister.
It's a little suspicious.
Let's go!
What's wrong with you? Don't take me back to that man!
Sure, this is going to end well.
Please! I'll do anything!
Bring him here.
This... Oh my good lord! Please get that man away from me!
Hey, fella.
You broke this poor fool's leg, mister.
This maniac tried to eat me! We got cannibals in these here hills! Please help me!
What?
Please!
Fella's gotta eat now. Fella's got to eat.
Save me from this freak, please! Please!
He just leaves.
Almighty. Holy smoke!
Let the cannibal eat him. American Appetites. Wonderful.
You're really not helping.
Dude just like bails after that? I guess that makes sense. And I eat them both. I feel like there were some cannibal-themed westerns, right? Is that really, like, disturbing kind of horror western movie that came out somewhat recently. I'm trying to remember that. Bone Tomahawk, maybe? Let's go to this one. Yeah. It's a problem I've noticed with a lot of these, like, moral choice themed games. Like, they try to have a consistent voice for the character, even though the character's allowed to have branching dialogue choices. Like, I love Mass Effect, obviously, but, like, whenever there's an opportunity for Shepard to have neutral dialogue, like, depending on your perception of the character at that point, it can either feel really jarring and out of place. Alright, shock and awe. Probably need to buy. I've got like this cartoon character wardrobe of like 4 and 7 hoodies, but I should probably get another one just in case they ever go off BioWare's store. Nice jump. Didn't really make that easy for yours. If this game were Ocarina of Time, it wouldn't have given it to me. There you go. Of course, seems to have an easier time making those jumps from like a standstill. Yeah, you've seen it, Kiki. Just mostly it's in the sound design, I think. Stuff is just like so like dry and matter-of-fact sounding. Miserable. Mm-hmm. The only person you know with an actual cartoon character wardrobe.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'll need to get $200 more later.
Here you go then, partner. Good luck out here.
For playing Liar's Dice. But I am doing all these side quests, so it seems possible. Tycho from Penny Arcade does as well. Water of Honesty. Bit of a ride.
Come on.
Just gotta like measure it up against the loading screen. He is a cartoon character. Jerry Holkins has he only ever wears plain black t-shirts. Doesn't have any graphic tees. I'm never gonna grow out of a graphic tee phase. Like, those are the only things I wear outside of this hoodie for stream. I know the streetwear trend is to mix it up. I even had a bunch of like Fangamer polos when I worked at Chase and needed to wear a polo shirt.
Let's go.
Band shirts, yeah. There was an old Pinky in the Brain bit about how people will do anything for a free t-shirt. Spoke to me.
I sure hope you ain't empty-handed. Howdy. You got the deed?
Yep.
I do.
Here it is.
$200.
All right. Good of you to put your own money up for the deed.
You put a 1 and 2 zeros in front of
There's
that.
a little something extra in there for you. Always best when these transactions go smoothly.
Particularly when you can make more money out of it.
Hmm.
Good luck with the property, McAllister.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Come on.
Free plastic bucket. Let's mount back up. Or like a tote of some kind. Springs. This area is basically done. Excuse you, Ben. I think the one over here is the one I just did. There might be one at Ridgewood Farm, so I'll head over in that direction. Finland is weird. I forgot how heavily Finland and Finnish is featured in his Dark Materials. I've been watching it on HBO recently. Oh.
Let's go.
Totes are a tiebreaker item. Or like an NPR donation incentive. Hi, Ben.
Yeah.
You're extremely furry, yes. This cannot be denied.
Come on.
Oh, which side character? Is it, it's not Yorick, right? I think the guy playing Yorick also was a voice in Final Fantasy XIV. He's like a rando instead of... I think the movie had, Ian McKellen playing the same character. Oh, I see. The Tartars.
Let's go.
Pretty good show, by the way, if you haven't seen it. It's good. Okay. It's like, it kept walking past it thinking it was a zebra, but that doesn't make any sense.
Might as well.
So far, from what I've seen of his Dark Materials show, it feels like it's probably a good companion if you've read the book. But I imagine it's difficult to follow if you haven't. Kind of like Watchmen. Watchmen feels like a pretty solid adaptation for someone that's read Watchmen. The pacing's a little weird.
Come on.
Yeah, it's based on the trilogy by Philip Pullman. It's like, for lack of a better way of describing it, it's Atheist Chronicles of Narnia. It's pretty solid, though, and the BBC adaptation's good for what it is. Ben, please don't sit on the laptop. I need that. Yeah, good series. It's 3 books. The US, it was called Golden Compass because they didn't think we'd know what the Northern Lights are, or something. We might finally be in the era of things not being retitled for stupid people in the US. What? No one's gonna know what the Philosopher's Stone is. That's too weird. Change that name. Golden Compass, Subtle Knife, and Amber Spyglass. Hey, Merry Christmas, Crab. Nice. Glad you enjoyed it. I think it was my favorite Metroidvania, and I'm really sad that it's basically the last Metroidvania, because it really seemed like they were on a really cool path. It felt like one of the most polished ones. I like Bloodstained a lot, which is the next game from that director, but not a polished game by any means. Threw out a lot of ideas. I don't think it's ever called the Gold Compass in the book either. It's called a lithiometer. Hold on, my cat's up to no good. Be right back. Yeah, that's what I thought you were doing. Hold on, guys. He got in the glass cabinet and knocked a glass out and it shattered. I'm gonna pause the timer and mute and vacuum it out so no one cuts themselves.
Hi, Ben.
Hi.
It's not Marty, that's Ben.
Hi.
No, Cammy, that's Ben.
Hi. You.
Close enough.
It was not a clean glass break either. There's tiny little micro glass particles everywhere. I finished vacuuming it up. Yeah, that's what I've been... He keeps climbing in there when he's mad, like he wants food. Because he can, like, make a bunch of noise and slam the door open and shut. And every time he does it, I'm like, I gotta get him out of there because he's gonna knock a glass out of there. And it finally happened. Okay. So I've mostly tapped out the northern corner of the map. There is one down here. That might be the Liar's Dice quest. We'll go down and see. We have child safety locks on most of the cabinets in the house, but he can get in them. Kitty's gonna cat, I know, right? Now he's gargoyling on top of the tower, staring at me. Cat safety locks, there you go. We just have to tape everything shut. We got a sliding pantry door, so being a sliding door makes it difficult to protect against them getting into it. But like Ben will paw part of it open. There's Desert Sage. Ben will paw it open just enough for Marty to fit his head in, and then Marty will like just start forcing his body into the crack in the pantry door. And he forces itself so much that it just makes the child locks on it snap open. So we've got 3 of them on there, and sometimes I'll wake up and they'll have popped through 2 of them, but not the 3rd one. I understand the value of teamwork. Sometimes I'll play, they'll play like lookout for one another. Like Marty will be forcing his head through the door, and then Ben will go like sit at the foot of the stairs to let him know if the fuzz is coming. There's an old meme from back when our fridge had an accessible top, and the fridge was right next to the stream, but Ben used to be able to open the freezer by like getting on top of the fridge and like pushing the freezer open and then getting inside to try to get at the waffles. We haven't had we've had like a area above the roof of the fridge, so there's not room for a cat anymore, but...
Fastest in all New Austin, right? You called Spatchcock?
Well, who's asking?
Who do you think is asking?
Listen, partner. You stay cool.
Here's Ben.
Or I'll cool you down by putting a hole in you.
You been practicing that line all week, fool?
Don't make me come over there and teach you a lesson.
Man, I hope you shoot better than you act tough. And that fool really will lose some money. Now get up and fight.
Shooting him in his right arm gives me lots of trouble when I've tried it before. I'm probably going to die and have to start again.
Don't kill me!
Hey, it worked.
I'm just an actor!
Go back to work then.
Remember Kenna and Armadillo with good news. They're adults. See if there's any other stranger quests near here real quick. And then I will fast travel back to Armadillo. I feel like our relationship with the kitties would be a lot less complicated if we just left out dry food for them. Like I said, the person we adopted them from made us promise we wouldn't.
That's what I wanted.
That's the last one. Perfect. Red Sage. It's the name of a laser experiment that Andrew works on. Why is that familiar?
Let's go.
I think it depends on the cat. I think it's generally not a problem. Most people I know who are cat owners do try food. I can assure you, though, that if Ben had access to an infinite bucket of dry food, he would be like 40 pounds.
Hello there. Nice to see another sentient being out here. Name's Sam. Sam Odessa.
Hi, Sam Odessa.
Anyway, that's the name they gave my grandpappy when he came across New York City.
Good to meet you, Sam Odessa. I'm John Marstead.
I love the language of this setting.
Where you come from?
Yeah, well, it would be if I had a home to come from. Been out here for several weeks, or several generations, I guess. Would have made better time, but my horse came up lame a ways back. Trying to get to California. See the ocean.
I hear it's wet.
From the Black Sea to the Pacific in 3 generations. I'm gonna make something of myself there. I'm gonna find something.
Red Dead 2 take place in the same general geographic area?
One of them. Listen, Gap Tooth ain't so friendly to strangers. I suggest you head back to Benedict Point before you run afoul one of these gangs that run it out of here.
Well, thank you very much for the kind advice, Mr. Marston. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll go get me on a coach. Believe me, B, I'm flying on it.
California journal entry added. Traveling to California, he told him to find a coach to ride in, and he went on his way. Odds are you'll encounter him again in the future. Some cats won't even do wet food. It's just we get Friskies in bulk from Sam's Club or Costco or wherever you can get it. And they both get half a can twice per day, so they each get a full can per day, and that's more than enough to keep them fed and hydrated. And at a healthy weight. My sister came out to visit, and she was like, I was really worried that you were starving those kitties, because I'd hear them freak out at the end of the stream. Like, they're not starving. Eat plenty, they just want to eat more. They never want to stop eating. Social club challenge. Seems like there should be another stranger somewhere up here-ish. But that might be like the sequel to a quest. I'll head up there to check, I guess. We've left them with a tub of dry food before to, like, Scrooge McDucket while we're out of town. And they definitely eat almost all of it. Brothers Rescue Cats, the same thing, kind of. Game I was just playing has the select button as the map button, so bear with me. Probably gonna press the wrong thing every time. Whoa. What the hell was with y'all? No, not? It's like the one enemy bandit character model that looks like Slash.
Got mixed up with a bad element. Show some kindness. I got money. I'm gonna give this life up to be a singer. Take the money and let me live.
Alright. Just don't, like, shoot me in the back on my way out of here. Man, my horse pieced out.
Go.
I know Azul is not here, but I wonder if they've ever made like just like an open world horse riding game. Like that's the main purpose, is just riding your horse around. Not lots of quests or anything like that. Okay, Gap Tooth Breach. Got the one that was down here. There might be one around Benedict Point, it looks like. Then we gotta go to a new section. Red Dead 2. Nothing to do but ride your horse around. I guess you could do like horse sim. I don't know, I feel like open world as a genre probably fits better in that sort of space. Like having an open world flight sim game, right? Truck driving game. Setting your horse to auto-follow at a destination. I know what little I played of Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5 felt like a lot of driving between point A and point B. It kind of has the Rockstar formula has the JRPG like quest notice board problem, where it's like you can't just go to where the quest is, you gotta go talk to the quest giver. Beautiful screensaver.
They stole my wagon. All my supplies were in it.
That's rude of them. Just hear a mountain lion? Yeah, I thought so. Ben, this is why you're not allowed to go outside. You'll get eaten by mountain lions. Or coyotes. Or bears. Confused. So are there stranger quests that will only trigger when you reach a certain fame level?
You saved my farm. May the Lord bless you.
All your supplies, huh? Based on story progression. Benedict. They've been raising hell all morning, both him and his brother. They had their breakfast. I don't know why they're acting out so early. I just like trained myself to stop for little herb pop-ups, and now I have to remember it doesn't really matter again. Are there like rare super horses in this game? No, there are in Breath of the Wild. Earthquake's coming. I think here the big natural disaster would be the dormant super volcano exploding. We would be pretty well fucked. Let's see. I might be done with New Austin outside of the ones that I've just got progress on. Maybe in the DLC, I see. Pretty good JoJo to be continued meme there with fading out right as the mountain lion was about to eat my face off. And the whole US, I think, would be fucked. No, we've got a separate, there's a dormant caldera, Jemez volcano. It's like right in town. That if it woke up, we would be in big trouble. War horse is a good one. Okay. That's the one I currently am using.
Howdy, friend.
I do like that there is a press B to howdy friend button in this game. Impotent jump.
If it isn't the man with the cheekbones. Go, be on your way. Another adventure awaits you, I'm sure.
Good luck.
Story's not over. Oh, what happened to the Liar's Dice one? I got it without having to play Liar's Dice? Yeah, I'm confused. Very, very confused. You want a deed to land up in tall trees a mechanic can use to build a movie studio. I don't have to play more Liar's Dice, so I'm happy, but I don't know what happened. Maybe it, like, saw how far I was or how many times I did it without winning and just gave it to me. I don't know. I thought buying the deed outright was for a different quest, though. There were 2 quests involving deeds. Letters for Lady She'll turn the land now. Super weird, though. Skip the part where you took the deed to him and you said to get the actor. Yeah, that's really strange. I wonder what happened. I wonder if there's another side quest that crosses over with it or something. And I'll look at walkthroughs later and see if there's like a branching path there.
Stagecoach is the safest way to travel around these parts.
Is it though? Stagecoaches get robbed like on the regular. Maybe is that a hug? She kind of just reached over and like scratched my armpit a little bit. Okay. That was weird.
Let's go.
So I'm already like socially awkward. mentally ill, anxious person, so like I always lose in the prisoner's dilemma that is hug or handshake. So I've just learned to brace myself for the hug. But if someone did that, if they like kind of reached over and like tickled my armpit a little bit, it would be game over. It would burn my whole battery for the week. I met some of Andrea's family in New England. They do the like reach over and like put your cheeks next to each other and make a kissing sound thing, and I was really puzzled because I had never run into anyone who did that before.
Here's your flowers, Billy.
Well, thank you.
Got you set, friend.
Not many around these parts that help an old man with such a task. Thanks again, stranger. Come on in, have some tea with me and Annabelle.
Quest. Is Annabelle not a person?
All right, maybe just for a minute.
It's my
She's dead.
other half, lovely Annabelle.
Great.
Much obliged.
They put some work into that.
Man helped me find these lovely flowers, Annabelle. Not half as lovely as you.
Yeah, no, you don't look a day over 30, ma'am.
Wait, it's the fine air and the good living up here in New Austin that keeps us so young and full of vigor. Annabelle was mentioning she wants to go up to Blackwater, ride one of those newfangled motor cars, huh? No bumpy old horse.
I love how there can't just be a cute side quest about a guy who wants flowers for his wife.
Get going.
She has to be fucking dead or something.
And Annabelle baked her special blackbird pie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Billy. I must have forgot. I've got an appointment with Planet Earth. Nice to meet you, ma'am.
At least he's still nice.
Stop by any time. Oh, we play bridge on Thursdays.
Come on.
At this point, I feel like the subversive thing for Rockstar to do is to just make a wholesome, non-cynical game, right? Alright, he wants flowers for his wife. What is his wife? Like a cow? Is she dead? Is she a kidnap victim? Don't know if they have that in them. I still want the, like, Whimsyshire Sunshine and Rainbow Souls game. So Diaz, hold on. These maps are really tiny. Probably just need to back out of this menu. Open image in new tab. Control plus, thank you. Any of these is probably fine. Let's do El Presidio. I think I went through Mexico like at a clip. We did it all in one episode, pretty much. Just the main story quest stuff. That seems fine. It's pretty close to the edge. Alright, Torquemada. You can't Torquemada anything. Okay, so there should be one down here. Let's try that. Sad Mel Brooks is so old, we'll never get a History of the World Part 2. Yeah, this is the area that looks like just like where I live in real life. We're going back to the road up here. Squeeze me. Hey, there's one. Sorry guys, I don't know where I'm going. A much much easier turning radius on this horse than I do in the cop car in Deadly Premonition.
Makes you feel like you're on top of the world.
Whoa.
Don't you think? Hello there, friend. Have you come to enjoy the scenery?
I guess I have. What are you doing out here?
You know, I'm trying to capitalize on the stiff upward breezes in this region to launch my first ever flight.
You're gonna try to use that crazy thing to fly?
I'll be soaring like an eagle, or my name's not Charles Kinnear. I should be the first man swooping through this valley. Yes, I shall.
Hopefully he doesn't just fucking die.
I need more adhesive to keep the wings together. I've concocted my own special formula, since that store-bought stuff isn't strong enough. However, I can't abandon my machine to gather more materials.
What kind of materials are you talking about, Charles Kinnear?
I need a bunch of bird feathers, doesn't matter what kind, along
Everyone's.
with a parcel of beaver hides to boil down, along with some red sage to make it all pliable.
Okay. I think I can find all that stuff. I'll be back, Charles. Because you leaping off that cliff is something I have to watch.
Oh, they doubted dear Icarus, sir. Yes, they did!
Yeah, and didn't turn out super well for Icarus and his dad. I guess he said Icarus and, oh wait, no, he said Icarus and not Daedalus. So... We're that
You have a chance to make history.
kind of, sort of, on the nose Rockstar writing.
Let's go!
Basically, everyone's evil, naive, an idiot, or all three in a Rockstar game. I'm gonna keep an eye out for more red sage. There's a stranger here. Daedalus and Son. Cute. 20 feathers, 10 red sage. Oh my god. Is that strictly gathered in the wild, or can you ever buy it from stores?
Marstead, good to see you're still breathing.
Hola, senor. Why, hello.
Whoa.
Hey, Migo, give it a rest. Enough. Stop hitting the girl.
There, you happy now?
You're low, brother.
Huh? You like her? You can have her. Yeah, she's pretty clean and pretty dirty also, huh?
Gross.
She's yours for 200 American dollars.
Mario, you are evil.
No, Eva, I'm just a cowherd who can no longer afford the cattle. You want a cow? Cowboy? Huh?
Holy Mother, save me from this man.
Come on. $200, man. Either give me the money or go to hell.
Honor minus 50, really? Since you attacked Mario, Eva's distraught and wants nothing to do with you. Okay. Whatever you say, Rockstar. It's another tricky video game problem where it's like the whoa, what are you doing?
What the hell are you doing?
Thank you, senor. I should know by now. I never to tell a man he has una verga pequeña.
Glad to be of service to the oldest profession.
The small penis? There's a trouble with these sorts of choice-based games where, like, the developer is tasked with being the arbiter of, you know, what counts as a good decision and what counts as a bad decision. Again, it comes up sometimes in Mass Effect where, like, the Renegade path, you're like, really? That's the Renegade path? Okay. I don't know if I agree with that, but whatever you say, BioWare. So the dream is to have, like, no judgment at all, I guess, but that's basically impossible to pull off.
Yeah. Come on.
The good decision is what lets you see all the content. I remember this area from the main quest. Maybe come back here later. Yeah, no side quests here right now. Okay. How far out is far enough is the question. That counts, apparently. Shit, I forgot to set a waypoint. Oh, I can do it from this menu. Okay. Well, that helps. Daedalus and Son, Los Hermanos, Perdido. Should be one in Chuparosa. I think I hit mute in time, sorry, I sneezed really loud.
Trouble you for a minute.
What's up?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. You are an American, are you not?
You
Last time I checked.
Oh, thank God, sir. Thank God. I have had it up to here with Dagos, up to here. Savages.
Great.
Well, I do what I can to help. But this land was imagined by an angry god for an angry people.
Well, America ain't exactly a peaceful paradise, mister.
Well, I tried, but at least you lot try to speak bloody English. This bloody lot, my God, if I'd wanted to speak Spanish, I'd have gone to Spain.
Why didn't you?
Good question. Well, you know, business, I suppose. Devil making work for idle hands, what? Now listen, friend. If you were to go west to Nosalido, I'd give you a reward for picking up a package of mine from the docks. There's some fighting broken out there. It seems like it's more your kind of thing.
Why would I want to do something like that?
Oh, you Americans are all the same, obsessed with bloody money. Well, I will pay you, sir. I will give you $1. Name's Tollitz, sir. Uriah Tollitz. They'll know of me in Nosalido.
How much?
Plenty, sir, plenty. Now, you will take it and give it to the foreman of the estate at El Matadoro. He'll be expecting it. Try to give those Daegos hell, what? That's a fine fellow.
Great. Oh, Mario respawns? Interesting.
Hola, Señor Marston.
Got better. That looks like prickly pear.
Yeah.
Eye of the Devil. Separate, unrelated but identical Mario and Eva. This game is very pretty. I feel like a lot of the pretty of this game comes from the draw distance, or whatever like trickery they're doing to make it look like there's more draw distance than there actually is. And that's a lot of the beauty of this actual part of the world. So everything is fairly level and how vast everything is, vast and empty. You imagine the same game like made for like early to mid PS2 with like fog on the render distance, it would not look so great. It is kind of in that like Brown and Bloom period.
Let's go.
Prickly pear, it looks like. I'll do one of these, why not?
Come on, ladies, this ain't fair. Send out some men.
Gracias, amigo. The pendejos killed 2 of my men and captured another. We must save him.
I'll kill him.
Clear the town of criminals.
What you got on you, friend? Who wants it next?
inocentes! ¡Te vas a quemar! You should run off home!
Kill the gang leader.
This ain't nice. I know. I think they're holding my compadre in this house.
¡Lárgate ya de aquí, gringo! ¡O mataré a tu amigo!
It's all good. This game keeps making me think of Overwatch. Do we have a release date for Overwatch 2? I might be interested in playing that. It's supposed to be like co-op campaigns, right? Weird that they called it that, but you know, whatever. Stop spinning your camera 180. Yeah, I wonder if the draw distance trickery is dependent on the limited turn speed of console.
My apologies, mister.
Pretty cool video of that for, it was like Horizon Zero Dawn or Breath of the Wild or something. You can see how the game is like dynamically unloading stuff that's in your periphery and behind you. Maybe it will be like Titanfall 2. The first Titanfall didn't have a single player campaign, and the sequel had one of the best ones ever. I guess in this case we should say PvE. For shotgun ammo.
This is a little too visceral for me. The West is a little wilder than... Damn,
this fucking guy.
You really are someone to be riding the river with.
I think you done outstayed your welcome down these parts, old Jimmy. I'd get out while the going's good.
Oh, you're right about that. There is something about nearly dying several times that hasn't given the old muse the kick up the backside that I was expecting. I can't write a joke for a pile of fresh turd. No more of this cowboy business for old Jimmy. I think I might
yeah,
take up
right.
music or war reporting.
That would be clever if they did that. I feel like the major side quest should point you to all of the side content in the game. The Icarus mission might be a little bit too complicated for me to finish, but the fact that it draws me to getting a lot of bird feathers, which normally I wouldn't care about, is a good thing.
That's better.
Just take one feather. Oh, 3, okay. You wanted 20 feathers of any kind, you said? Let me see what I'm sitting on. Oh, I guess I don't have any others that I'm sitting on already. wonder if I've seen beavers around too much. Bad horse, bad horse. Let's see. Chuparosa is part of Perdido. Close to Escalera. There might be a couple more quests up this way-ish. I think there should be one right here.
Come on.
Quick repair, I'm good. It's an interesting concept where, like, laying out pretty clearly what all the tasks you can do in the game are, like assigning icons next to them and labeling them on the mini-map with a legend for the different sorts of tasks that are available, can, like, pop the illusion for you about exactly how free you are in a game like this. It stops being go do whatever you want and starts being go do all of the things that have a unique icon. But I feel like for some games that works better than for others, like the way quests and points of interest are handled in a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, or what little I've seen of The Witcher, at least for the way my brain works, it makes me want to go do all of those things, because I'm excited about the prospect of there being unique rewards for each of them. In this game, I'm excited about seeing all of the, like, stranger events, because they're all fairly unique, non-degenerate content. I also wonder, like, if they didn't label all of the different sorts of little mini-games you could play, like poker and liar's dice and five-finger fillet, like, would players even stumble on them without the map telling them to go to it? It's a hard call.
Come on.
Harken back to more Dan Olson videos. But Dan Olson makes a point in the WoW Classic video that, like, the fact that you have nothing to do in WoW Classic makes you really feel free to self-direct in a way that you don't in, like, Battle for Azeroth. It's okay, horse.
Hola.
Hola.
Hola, señor. ¿Ha visto una piedra que parece así? Vaya, que es muy importante.
No, comprende.
This is very important.
Oh, we can use English if you prefer. Or Dutch, maybe. German, Italian, yes, no?
English is fine.
Bueno. As I was saying, have you seen a rock that looks like this? I'm trying to track down a family heirloom. Left here by my tatarabuelo.
Not sure I get your meaning.
My great-grandfather? No. Great-great-grandfather. Yes. Anyway, a great man. So, he was given a map to a treasure hidden in the hills of Nuevo Paraíso by the Aztecs shortly before he burned a lot of them for heresy. Like I said, a great man. And the first key is finding this rock right here. Unfortunately, I am not the great adventurer my abuelo was. I'm having no luck whatsoever. And my wife and children, stuck in the capital, continue sending me wires asking, when am I going to see my papi again? And I tell them, it is Aztec Gold, you ungrateful wretches.
Aztec Gold! And if that ain't teaching the young right from wrong, nothing will.
Well, exactly. You certainly look like the type who can get things done. I would, of course, offer a reward if you would aid me. Actually, we were not...
For strangers, yeah.
Basilio,
I know people didn't like Dragon Age Inquisition, but I thought that did a good job of drawing you to all the relevant points of interest.
Once you find the missing pieces,
Letting you feel like you could 100% it.
Meet me back at El Matadero.
Sure.
Farewell, Marstead. To fame and fortune.
Fame and fortune. I guess it's like different goals. Like, is the goal, do I want to do everything that can be done in this game? 100% it, experience all the non-degenerate content, and is the game helping me to find all of it in a user-friendly way? Or do I want to be immersed and just kind of play in the sandbox? Self-direct where I want to go to play. Or maybe it's that rock pile directly under here. Started all but maybe a couple. Okay. Thanks, this thing. Whoa! What the fuck? So I fell through the world, and then it shunted me back onto the path, and then neither me nor my horse died. So we'll count that as a victory. This is fine. And this dude did not look very hard. Unique. Yeah, I know, right? It must have some kind of check, like, if you're falling through the world, shunt you to solid ground. Acquired another piece of Basilio's map. Include the next stretch of location in Primera. Good luck. Probably can't make a campsite here, right? I know, right? Good arrow recovery. It gave me the "you're falling" death damage animation though. Alright, I think that there's another one in Escalera. I think that's the only other one that I'm missing. Unless if you see another one, this name. Marlin Ranch, no, I don't know. Is it if you look at the guide on GamePressure.com, I just found it by Googling Red Dead Redemption Stranger's Map. Is it E1 or J1?
Whoa there!
Let me make sure I'm going to the right place.
Let's go!
Weird. Thank you. Alright, I'll head to that one. So J1 and the one that's in this town, and that should be it, I think? Maybe? So I thought there was one in this town. Sometimes... Hi, Ben. Hope you didn't cut yourself on the glass at all. Maybe it's more like southeast of here? It's kind of hard to see from this map. This shape here, yeah, maybe it's more like down here. Let's try.
Come sit by the fire, compadre. Let's go. I can speak English.
You're very cute, Ben.
Whoa.
Assume he doesn't mind if I give him multiple different kinds of feathers. Oh, he didn't loot that one. Nice. This game needs a detective mode for like finding corpses you shoot on the ground. Shit, I could turn around from the other one I shut down. Hawk feathers. Not quite. Like 4 more. Oh, perfect. Thanks, game. It's like you heard me. Alright, so we need to go find some beavers later. Quest is probably going to take a while. Ha, so I thought it was around here. Ben, don't sit on the laptop. His skin's pretty, nonchalantly in this one. Maybe that's Red Dead 2. Pretty sure there should be another guy around here. Another... stranger. N1. What are y'all up to? Guess I'll go do this really quick.
Let's go.
Help this guy again, why not?
Take these 2 men and destroy that rebel camp.
Burn down your targets.
Vamos por aquí. Conspirador. Muerte Allende.
The stock ricochet noise. Very old school Western. Love is the opiate. Okay, thanks. Thanks for checking. Even Peril was in the middle of Mexico map? Or was it the Far East?
What do you think you're playing at?
Oh, there was a combat roll, that's cool.
¡Mátalo sin merced! ¿Me oyen? ¡Ha perdido la mente!
Okay, thanks. Alright, now I gotta burn everything down. That's what this is supposed to be? Confused.
Not so fast, partner.
Are there other places to pick them up?
Easy, partner. What have you got for me, miss?
Maybe I need to have a gun out for it to let me equip it. Let's see. It's not right bumper. It's not left bumper. It's not B. It's not A. It's not X. It's not Y. Not right trigger. It's not left trigger. So not on the weapon wheel? Oh, wow. I don't think I've scrolled through any of these on the weapon wheel ever, the whole game. Thanks. I was just under the impression that, like, weapon upgrades were flat.
Very good, amigo. Now keep moving.
It's a waste of, like, perfectly good buildings.
Good work, my friend. Excelente.
I thought he was about to die from that.
Bien hecho.
Shit. It did knock me down, yeah. The fire that I threw quite a few feet away from me.
Excellent work. Now go speak to the general. He will
Fall in the
want to
water
thank
and
you
die.
personally.
Good work, buddy. Yeah. What kind of Molotov he's burning after being dunked in water? Only the best kind.
Gracias. You're a friend to Mexico. Here's a little money, a sign of my gratitude. Now we must leave.
Surprised he didn't say Mexico. Fire bottle times 6. Alright. He's pretty good at boarding a moving horse. So, okay, there's, Eva Quest has respawned. And there's one... Aztec Gold. You said there's one by El Matadero that I can do? Oh, I see these guys over here. Get somewhere where I can warp. It's a long walk. The country needs me. This isn't a town or a settlement or a gang hideout.
Come on. Slow down.
So I get what they're going for with the campsite fast travel system, but given that the only way to know whether the area you're at is valid for a campsite is to just like open up the menu and select it, and then pray that it lets you do it. So I don't know what another solution would be. You don't want to like color parts of the map as valid camping territory versus not, but... Travel to waypoint, thank you.
Let's go.
Good night, Kai Mom. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a nice holiday. Oops. Should be one by this house. Oh, Eva and Peril respawned. Gotcha. Really do like the music in this part of the game. There's an interesting little interaction there. The horse went over a small ramp. This section of the game is quite a bit colorful, more colorful than I typically associate this like generation of games. Because you can't avoid it. Sky's still a little washed out, but I forgot about the whole respawning thing. That happens in Grand Theft Auto as well, right? Like if you fail a mission and kill a character, you just wait a couple days and it comes back like it never happened.
Watch it, Marstead, you son of a whore. Hola. Sí. Hola. Buenas. Hola.
He's trying.
Hola.
Goofy run.
I'm not here for that, miss.
Running out of patience.
Pay Mario $200.
Take the damn money, you bastard.
She's all yours, okay? Enjoy her.
Gracias, señor. Thank you.
Will you miss me, mi amor? What are you going to do now?
I will go to Las Hermanas. The sisters there will help me.
The sisters of the sisters? We'll set that a few days from now. Yeah, when you unlock a bonus stream, it inflates the vote total quite a bit. So if you look at the bonus streams tab, you can see when whatever game you're voting for is going to unlock one. It's based on SP spent. Wait, what? Why? Why did the Eva and Peril quest fail? Because she ran out during scripted events. That's dumb. I think she just like walked into that group of people and they scared her. Silly. I know, right?
Let's go.
I don't have the resources for that guy yet. There it is. Inconspicuous rock piles. Totally inconspicuous. Oh, that's convenient. That's where I have to go anyway. It's faster if you jump constantly, everyone knows this. Has Grand Theft Auto 6 been announced yet? Is that a thing? I wonder if it'll have a self-driving car.
Marstead, you have it. Por favor. Let me see
Level
it.
up your athletics.
I've been waiting here, wringing my hands with expectation.
Sounds
Not a
unpleasant.
thing yet.
This is it. Yes, yes. We're in luck. Do you know what this might be?
Must be right around here someplace.
Is it really? Yes. It looks like it's in those caves over there.
Basilio, wait!
This isn't gonna go well. Yeah, they used these caves for main story quests earlier. GTA Online, I guess I'll have to actually try it, but like it seems insubstantial to me. Like I feel like there's a persistent MMO style GTA game where you segregate the player base into big servers like, you know, World of Warcraft does, or you even have some kind of like shared server instancing thing like Guild Wars 2 does. But it's all like making lobbies and small groups of players like Diablo, right? I feel like I would get that existential gaming angst pretty quickly from playing GTA Online of like, why am I bothering, you know? It's mostly just, it's a sandbox, but online. Yikes, Kiki.
No. It has to be here.
Basilio, hold on. Have you ever been down here before?
A mere technicality, I assure you. Now, if I could just find this damn gold.
I think that's the model you want.
Really? Here.
You want it to be like a persistent MMO world.
Finally! So long!
GTA Online's it's like a fun toy, but not necessarily a game to play.
Wait. Come to me! What? This can't be! No! After 10 years of my life...
I know there's like GTA RP.
Nothing. No!
That about sums up my luck recently.
And that's the end. You got nothing. Not a game you could ever finish. Yeah, no, I'm very aware. Although getting the quest cape is a good stopping point, I think. It's a good point to say that it's beaten. You just have to get those videos published now. I'll probably continue to do quests as they're released to maintain the quest cape, like how we do with new entries in a franchise focused. It is definitely a game where it's remarkably difficult to tap out all of the non-degenerate content.
Are you the foreman, mister? I got a package for you from a Mr. Tollins.
It's not like Final Fantasy 14 where you've seen everything after 100 hours.
Army or rebels? Politics, my friend, is for fools. Which is why we see so much of it down here. Land of morons. Gets in the way of real work.
If you say so.
Here's the money for Mr. Tollins. I'll get this to the workers right away.
That's quite a sum. Must be valuable stuff.
You have no idea, gringo. No idea.
Nice crap.
If you would have known, you would have kept it all yourself.
Back to Chuparosa. And I think there's supposed to be another new quest around El Matadero, is that right? I don't see any question marks. Look around a bit. Doesn't spawn until Poppycock's complete. Okay, thanks for checking that. Chuparosa. Yeah, I struggled with MMO addiction when I was younger, like middle school through early one of my first jobs. There was a day I called off work in order to be involved in a Final Fantasy XI activity, and it kind of picture like an asterisk popping over my head. It kind of snapped me out of it. I think the definition does playing this game, doing this activity, keep you from doing other things in your life? Are you like neglecting work, family, friends? I think that's a pretty useful question to be asking at any given point. Am I drinking too much? Is it stopping me from doing things with my friends and family and my job? If no, it's probably okay. But I've definitely been in the space where it has affected my life negatively, like when I was in middle school and at that job I mentioned. I think the biggest issue with MMOs for me is the social contract aspect, which is why I try to stay far away from anything that involves other players depending on me, or me owing other players anything, because that was the worst, like feeling like I had to log into Final Fantasy XI. because I got a lucky drop 2 weeks ago, and my Link Shell mates, guild mates, clan mates did not, so now I owe them. If I don't log in, I'm letting them down. RuneScape works great for me because it's basically a single-player game. Like, of the 20,000 things you can do in that game, maybe 4 or 5 of them really expect you to do it with other players.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Guild and Vanilla WoW is taxing. Yeah.
I damn well knew
Extra taxing
you were
compared
the
to modern
kind of chap
MMO
to
design,
be
too.
trusted. A fine fellow, sir. Fine fellow indeed. Unlikely to run off and report me to the authorities.
I think taking time off to play an expansion you're excited about isn't bad. That makes perfect sense. Rather than it would be like calling in sick consistently or letting your work suffer.
It's nasty business, but it's necessary. Necessary.
Opium?
What do you mean you didn't even sneak a taste of that package?
That's why that quest doesn't spawn until after this. Got it.
That's fine stuff. Straight from Ongo Bongo land somewhere.
You used me.
Are you a moralist or just a fool?
Both, I guess.
We provide a much-needed service for the railroad workers. Help ease the pain and loneliness, them being so far away from home and all that. But there's nothing wrong with the stuff. Smoked it myself for years.
Great.
Here, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Well, thank you. Here's hoping we can do business again in the future. Beats dealing with the bloody savages.
Yeah, I've medicated depression with MMO play before. It's often like a very low effort way to get like dopamine. It requires significantly more effort for me to get showered, get dressed, you know, and go out and do something with friends when I can just turn on the computer and run a couple dungeons in WoW or whatever. Well, that wasn't great. Looks like he's getting over it, though. Train riders are alive. Yeah, the game I was addicted to in middle school, Nexus, was, the most comparable game was Ragnarok Online. I was really addicted to that game. It was Bad News Bears. I ran the equivalent of, like, what you would call a wiki these days. With, if you ever check him out, he's a streamer now, Dizzy Disaster. Maple Story, yeah, also pretty similar. You could grind indefinitely in that game, there was no level cap. The wildest shit was that, like, most of the mechanical parts of the game were player run, which was hell. Now that I look back on it, it was cool at the time. But, like, there were 4 main classes you could play as. Your mage, healer, warrior, rogue, and then, like, the subclasses, like the specializations where you got most of your abilities, were all run by players. So, like, whether or not you were allowed to play as a ninja, or the game's equivalent of a ninja, was dependent on you, like, applying to be a ninja and, like, role-playing successfully and being accepted by a group of people. Which is one of those MMO trade-offs. It was a really cool concept. If you got in, it felt really good. You got access to all these new abilities and mechanical tools and stuff. But the developers were really mad when some subclasses were extremely exclusive and they spent all this work developing these abilities that only like 10 players got to use. It's called Nexus. I think it's actually still a game. Servers are still on.
I should have never left Shanghai.
It's probably in a very different form than when I last remember it.
You alright, friend?
20 years ago.
I guess. I'm still alive.
Cheery kind of fella, ain't you?
Haven't got much to be cheerful about.
Don't guess I do neither.
I came here to make my fortune. I got a job so I could marry my beloved. She says she is still waiting for me, but I will never get out from here. I will never see Shanghai again. I'll live and die in the dust.
Why not?
I'm indentured. We all are. We're little more than slaves.
Slaves?
They ain't slaves, gringo. Not slaves at all. They just have to do a month's work to get a month's pay. Don't you, Zhao?
Yes, sir.
Joe.
Then let this man go free.
Or Joe, really.
This man signed a
middle
contract.
sound.
If the law don't respect contracts, the law don't respect nothing.
Joie.
Ain't that right, Zhao?
Come on. Give this man his freedom.
This man owes me $10,000 if he breaks his contract. It's written down clear as day.
Let him go.
It's actually all 2D sprite based.
I'll tell you what, gringo, cowboy. Get me, I don't know. Get me a white stallion like a real cowboy rides. And this dog is yours to keep.
Interesting quest requirement, okay. Kind of want someone to make a 2D like skin for RuneScape, because the whole game is tile-based. Everything could be a sprite instead of a 3D model. I prefer that style, personally. Alright, so he just wants any white horse from like anywhere in the game world? Broken a white stallion, you may purchase a deed for a Hungarian half-breed. Out in the wild. Oh, I haven't seen someone did a 2D StarCraft, that'd be cool. I think you could do a really pretty like 16 or 32-bit sprite mode for a game like RuneScape. Okay, so I gotta go find some beavers, I gotta find a white stallion. Pretty much just have to wander the game world for a bit to do this stuff. Let me go work on Daedalus and Son. Feathers may obtain various birds. Beavers may be found near rivers up north. Where does it say I can get red sage? Rio Bravo. Guess let's just go there.
Go.
Holy shit, crab. Has it gotten better since it got more AFK around 77? Nice. I'm all Arceus library for runecraft. I can't. Makes me want to die. It's really interesting that, like, I feel like the native reaction to someone that doesn't, like, get RuneScape is, you know, like, the sort of person that looks at pro wrestling and goes, but it's fake. And you look at RuneScape, you're like, but it's just grinding. Like, I feel that way about runecraft. And most of the other skills I actually kind of enjoy. But that skill is bad. Too much attention for not enough reward or something. I don't know, I'm gonna do a post-mortem video, try to explain why I like that game, even though superficially it seems like I should hate it, based on everything else I've ever said on this channel. I think it's probably true that it's not for everybody, but I also think that there are people who might like it who probably aren't giving it a chance because, like, superficially it's jumping on rooftops for 12 hours and, like, picking the same person's pocket for 40 hours and so on. I don't know. There's something magical about it that makes it different from a typical idle game or, like, grinding in a JRPG, and I haven't quite wrapped my head around it. Yeah, no kidding. Helps your seeds alone. I haven't fully formed this, so this might not be accurate, but I feel like games that are focused on achievement, games that are focused on exploration, and games that are focused on like self-direction, you usually don't get all three of those in the same game. Like, I would almost argue that like achieving specific goals and unlocking everything and trying to 100% and be a completionist, generally those sorts of games aren't also heavily self-directed. Usually in order for you to say, I 100%ed Breath of the Wild, it's because Breath of the Wild has done a very good job of telling you, you know, here are the things that you can do. We're going to direct you to them. You can do towers and dungeons and shrines and Korok seeds. And maybe that feeling of when you load into Breath of the Wild and say, hey, I've got all these things that are equally beneficial to my journey. Like doing shrines is going to give me more health and stamina, so I could focus on that first. Doing towers is going to reveal more of the map and make it easier for me to fast travel around, so I could do that first. So that feeling of like, there's still being a billion things for you to do, but the game not making it clearly optimal which one you should do first. Maybe that's what's special about it. Because even like Breath of the Wild, you can do all those things, but there's a lot of stuff that's gated behind at least starting the main quest line, right? Like going to Kakariko Village. Yeah. So imagine it's like that pull that I kind of want to do some Korok seeds because inventory is really important to me, but that there's like a bunch of permanent character progression unlocks that are like that are like comparable in improvement to your overall experience. But there's like 100 for you to choose from, and you have to pick which one you think is going to be the most beneficial to your journey overall right now. So it's that sort of self-direction that feels really special, I think. Red Dead, it's pretty easy for me to say, well, the most important thing I can do to expand my options is to just push the main quest as far as I can. Right? Same with Final Fantasy XIV. Nothing unlocks more content than the main story. And then after that, doing the blue side quests is going to unlock the next most amount of content. And then after that, it's pretty much just a theme park. Like, well, everything gives you the same rewards at this point. Do whatever you think is fun right now until the next expansion actually makes new relevant content. Favorite game of all time? That's a hard question. I think it's easier for me to like list some of my favorite games than to like really pick one and say this one's the best. Both because I'm a coward and because I don't think it's useful to say that like Earthbound is a better game than Dark Souls. But probably Dark Souls, Zelda as a franchise, the Mother series, and Mass Effect jump to the top of my list. Red Sage, I need 10 of you. This doesn't take a while. I think Mass Effect is my favorite fictional setting, like even in movies and books. It's definitely my favorite sci-fi setting. I think the Soulsborne games are my favorite games mechanically.
That's what I've been after.
Boy, you are green as hell.
What the hell are you doing?
Are you fucking kidding me? Take my horse? I didn't think that could happen. Rude. Okay. Red Sage, please. Earthbound's probably on my list for more nostalgic reasons than anything. Like, I think it holds up pretty well, but it's not like a particularly amazing example of its genre. Chrono Trigger probably is the best one, the best JRPG. At least based on the features I look for in those sorts of games. Yeah, and like, I feel like it's not necessary that a game succeed in making your choices matter. I mean, it would be great if it did, but very few games really have. Like, the goal is to create the illusion that your choices matter, and to, like, keep that illusion from popping for as long as possible.
That's what I wanted.
And unfortunately, it makes it hard to play those games more than once. That's usually why I jump to, like, I wish I could play Mass Effect blind again. Now that I know that, like, the decision that I make in Mass Effect 1 involving the Arachnite Queen doesn't actually change anything in the third game, it's less compelling than when I first played Mass Effect 3 and something happened that made it seem as though my choice mattered, right? As soon as I saw what happened in the other decision path, it was less compelling. As we were talking about earlier with Red Dead, and, like, the fact that in neutral dialogue they have to try to write Marston as both a criminal, in case you're playing as a criminal, and as, like, an honorable post-redemption gunslinger man. And depending on which one you're playing it as, like, certain scenes can feel jarring or not jarring. If they wrote it leaning criminal or leaning asshole or leaning nice guy.
There we go. That's one.
What am I up to here? Need 10, I think, right? 4 more.
Yeah. This looks like one.
I do think that feeling of illusion is one of the most important things that a game can achieve, and that's why it's like I'm so sensitive about spoilers in chat, even about people revealing things that aren't in the game. I feel like games like this one are the most fun when you know the least about how they're constructed, and you don't see the matrix, so to speak. Should be around here somewhere, right? Guess I've strayed pretty far from the center of Rio Bravo. I'm good, buddy. Thanks, though. Do plants in this game regrow over time? So you can just force a bunch of time to pass and come back and re-loot everything. He's standing right on top of the node, and it's the same button to ride him. There we
That's
go.
the flower.
The one up in the northeast corner of the map. 2 more.
Come on.
Are you serious? Brazen mountain lion. I kind of wish the nodes were limited. I don't know, I guess you can't get away with that. There's a limited number of nodes in the whole game. Kind of harder to have a quest where you need to collect 10 of them. Ow, Jesus.
Get the hell off!
This is a resilient mountain lion. Jeez. Here it goes. Seriously? How many of you are out here? Okay, I need one more. I need to go north anyway for beavers.
Slow down. Let's go.
Alright. Invincibility. Whoa. I meant to shoot the... That wasn't on purpose. Can I clear my bounty easily? Do I have to, like, pay it or something? Just trying to shoot the mountain lion, guys. I'm sorry. It's pretty wild, like, the way this game is constructed, that you can play almost the whole game without the police stars mechanic. Compared to GTA. Okay. Far enough away to trigger a fast travel here. It's like J1, so it's like near Hanniganstead. Southwest of there. It's more like over here somewhere. So I'm trying to put my finger on it while we're collecting flowers in this game. I think I really like the concept of consumable, non-degenerate content. Like, content that's different from all the other content in the game, and which you're encouraged to do once. And then once it's done, you never have to do it again. You've earned the right to not have to interface with it. Also, when that content is set up so that each time you do a piece of consumable content, it unlocks something new that wasn't accessible to you before. So, like, I like Breath of the Wild a lot, but because it's so self-directed, like, there's virtually nothing that's gated at all. Like, there's nothing like, oh, if you do 10 shrines, then you unlock this new area of the map. You can go to that area almost immediately. Same for this game. I guess doing the main story quest unlocks strangers, and sometimes strangers chain into new strangers.
Hello, John.
But that's about it.
John Marston.
The strangers are consumable. Poker is not.
I seem to know
There's no benefit to playing poker just once.
Pretty good at remembering faces.
Are you? Do you remember Hattie McCourt's face?
I don't.
Who? She was a girl Dutch Vanderlyn shot in the head on that raid on the ferry a few years back. Same one you got shot on. Pretty girl, until her eye was hanging out by a thread of tendon and her brain was plastered over a wall.
Not really.
Then why would you remember me, friend? You've forgotten far more important people than me.
What's your game, friend?
I don't have a game, John.
It's like Snidely Whiplash.
Listen, sometimes I just wish I'd known more about life. Wish I'd had better guidance. A friend of mine is drunk as a skunk in the saloon on Thieves' Landing. I think he's gonna be unfaithful to his dear wife. Why don't you head over there and see if you can advise him how best to proceed?
What do you think I am?
I know what you are, John. Just if you've got the time, friend.
The only man who will witness to wear a top hat. Dude's mysterious. Is it the strange man's friend in Thieves' Landing? Alright. Rivers. Probably this one counts. Probably all of this river stuff up here counts. Just take the shortest path to it first, I guess.
Come on.
I think that's why I'm more drawn to the stranger content, because it's side quests I can only ever do once that give unique cutscenes, potentially unique rewards, although in most cases just money. Not as interested in the blue random event side quests where it's like, oh, free a kidnap victim, or go get the horse that just got shot away. It's precisely because they happen dozens of times and each one is identical to the last, right? It's kind of unwinnable from a game design perspective. It's like, you don't want to make a horse thief mission missable by having it only occur once in a player's playthrough. But if I could only solve it once, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense there to be multiple horse thieves in your world too, so you may as well get more use out of the idea once you implement it. This is where I turn on my focus and scan for beavers. Marston's a real beaver focus. Da-da-da. Yeah, seriously? Okay. Whatever you say, game. Yeah, you fell into, like, waist-deep water. Him and his horse are dead forever now. heading all the way up there and see if that gets us there. Yeah, it's like the blue events. I think the first time you see one, you're like, oh, cool. That's a neat little thing I can do. But as soon as you see that exact same event a second time, like, it strains the feeling of immersion. Then you're seeing a system now instead of a... illusion of a real person. Can't touch the water because it's radioactive. Sorry, horse. Didn't mean to push you so hard.
Let's go.
To look up where I can find a white stallion. Well, that horse just... okay. Didn't die. Looked pretty close to it, though. This area with the evergreens is more like Los Alamos. That part of Mexico is more like Santa Fe, with the big red mesas. Okay. Beavers. Where are the beavers at? Are there actual beaver dams? It's a fucking bear. It's always fun. There's a beaver. Sorry. Oh shit, did you just like fade into the ground? That sucks. I know, right? Regular Boba Fett over here. At least I know they spawn in this general area. Alright, cowboy vision, go. Oof. You're watching The Mandalorian, Nodovan? There's one. Don't get disintegrated, please. Super good. I enjoy it.
This'll fetch a good price.
I'm weirdly nostalgic for episodic TV. It's weird because, like, when every single show became these, like, running storylines, I was super into it. I was like, man, this is so much better than episodic television. And I was like, well... now it feels like this huge investment to start watching any show. Oh, nice, crab. I think there's like 2 first episodes of that. There's one where I played it for like an hour for sub-block. And then another one where we actually started the full playthrough. Sorry, dude. I'm not here to rob you. Just trying to look for beavers. Beavers that I need. 5? Especially like once you finish a season of a show you really like and then you have to wait for the next season, like it's really, it can be painful. 5 beaver furs, okay. Like, old school Star Trek was really good. episodic TV, where it could occasionally have like a light running plot thread, but you could just catch an episode and enjoy it and move on with your life. I think late Buffy was probably peak episodic TV for me, where like most of the episodes stood alone just fine, but there would usually be like one little thing that was part of an ongoing plot thread. One scene at the end of the episode that mattered to the whole, but that you could easily pick up from a previously on if you just picked up a random episode. I need 4 more beavers, because the first one got disintegrated.
I'ma call you Mary from now on. That fool nearly shot me.
Okay. Whoa! You guys do not have red circles. Serious with this shit? An unspoken rule that you need to have a red circle. There's one. Whoa! Wait, is that a raccoon? Oh shit, I disintegrated it. There must be some physics thing where they're like getting stuck in the floor. Okay, I was a little worried about drowning there, but it looks like we're okay. Too strong.
Beauty.
Violet snowdrop. Yeah, well, I think I want to be exploring most of this area via horse. Yeah, Mass Effect feels like that for me. Dark Souls, especially. Dark Souls not because of the knowing where the story's gonna go. They're just not knowing what's around every corner and knowing good strategies for different bosses. Hollow Knight, yeah. I might actually be able to play Hollow Knight again effectively blind. Played it like 4 hours a week and then had the long hiatus break, so most of it's not fresh in my mind. Probably get that with some of the later Soulsborne games, but not the big stuff like the boss fight locations and traps and that sort of thing. Yeah, I feel like that's the main sell of watching Let's Plays, just to experience it like it was new again. Finding out that my mental hard drive is either like not equipped to handle the 500 or so games we've played in the last 5 years on stream, or I just have a really bad memory, because like people will be watching me play Red Dead or something like, oh yeah, this is the character, like you met this character 6 months ago, and they do this and this, and they put you on this mission. I'm like, I have no idea who this person is. Like, I remember maybe 3 core side quests from this game so far. Some really, the big moments, but like the layout of the map, nope. Names of most of the characters, nope. But then, like, you know, all of Dark Souls 1 is burned into my brain forever. Y'all, what is with y'all? Why are you like this? I'm just looking for beavers. Chill.
Let's go. Slow up.
Parents and older people to play games blind. Yeah, I feel like the untapped market is teaching the vocabulary of games to older people. Like, I've always wanted to sit down and try to come up with a progression of games that involve increasingly high demands on the player for like fluency with a controller. You know, like have a game that requires 1 button and then a game that requires 2 buttons and so on. The fluency comes from like playing the game early and beating your head against the wall for lots and lots of hours until you kind of just feel it. You think and the character does. And I think it's very frustrating to older people who've never played games to be handed a controller and say, here, play this. Like, I remember being shocked. I thought that the Stanley Parable would be one of those games that we tried handing it to Andrea's parents. You know, there are no buttons to press really, it's just walk down hallways. And they really struggled with fitting through doors. For whatever reason, it was weird for them to walk into it. They like walk into a door frame and just keep moving into the door frame. And everyone in the room who'd played a game before would be like, move the right stick to change your view a little bit so that you turn to fit through the door. And it's like, it wasn't their fault, it's just that they don't have that basic fluency with the controllers. And that seems like no one is trying to tap that market, getting like retirees and people in the Rotary Club into video games. I think they only spawn really close to the river, so I think I might be traveling too far afield. I'll try Aurora Basin really quick. Not really, like, they played through the game and didn't get what made the game special either. Motivates them to try rather than be accessible, yeah. Clearly people react to games. Yeah, no thanks. But I remember, so we were in that Rotary Club in Los Alamos for a while, especially when Andrea was struggling with depression. And like, these are all people who were really into movies and books, and just consuming art in all its forms. And like, once I was telling them like, okay, games are art, you know, there are stories that you can tell with games that you can't tell in the same way with films or books. They were like, that's really interesting, how do I get started? It seems like a really big barrier to entry. It's like, I don't really know what to tell you. Papers, please? I don't know, I feel like there's meta art. There's the equivalent of the artist who tapes a banana to the wall, where like, if you don't know anything about art at all, you just look at that and you go, that's dumb, right? Like, I feel like Stanley Parable is kind of in that space, that if you don't understand what it is Stanley Parable is subverting, like, if when Stanley pops, or when the narrator pops up and says, Stanley went through the door and is left, you don't immediately go, ah, I get it. Like, it's not the right starting game, because you don't have that basic level of literacy about the medium. You got Octopather? Nice, that's awesome. 140 hours into the Dragon Quest XI post-game. Nice. The Witness seems like a game where that could happen, even without the literacy. You still might struggle to get through the levels, but the puzzles I feel like you could do. Man, either these beavers are super rare or I'm just in the wrong areas to be looking for them. I wish there were actual dams to look for. I need 4 more pelts to do this quest. It would be 3 more, but I disintegrated that one. Precision required would drive off people who would otherwise enjoy it. I'm wondering if VR is going to help with that, like if we find a locomotion method in VR that's intuitive to people. And I wonder what experiences you could just port into VR that would make more sense to that sort of player. It already seems like VR is unfortunately having to go in the direction of like abstracted movement, like the point, click, and teleport thing. Seems like it's least likely to give you motion sickness. Smaller rivers for the northeast. Like this area up here, or like this area up here? Try to just follow the edge of the map. I actually thought that was off the edge of the map. Not understand the progression of puzzles, and if you get out of order, you get frustrated, right? Because a savvy player might realize, like, I think the Witness's early areas are designed to teach you that you could encounter a puzzle before you encountered the tutorial for it. But you have to be savvy to the idea that games teach you things, which is something that I think that you know intuitively, but you don't, like, most gamers don't really know that they know.
Come on, easy up now. Whoa there.
It's a burr. A bar. Beecher's Hope. Right. Even though there's like there's very little consequence for failure to use the ship and jetpack controls. Like if you had some alternate way of playing where you could like click on an area and your character would navigate to it automatically and not require you to worry about ship or the jetpack at all. Like if you had permanent no clip on or something. There's one. Oh, and there's a bear. Oh man, I'm about to get Leonardo DiCaprio. Hey, thanks for the follow. Oof. Probably lost the beaver.
Come on, let's get this over with.
Barely made it. They killed my horse! I'm very sad. I gotta find that beaver that got away. Sawn off and just piss it off. Bears are scary. We had one up in the second floor balcony of our apartment's condo, or our neighbor's condo. Climbed up there to get at the bird feeder. Right. I'll see if I can find the pictures. Maybe I can post them in the Discord later. Does that count as a white stallion? Doesn't really label it at all, does it? I don't know what the difference is between a stallion and any other kind of horse. The weird camera angle to be trying to do this.
There you go.
I think that counts. New items are available to purchase from stores. Tony Hawk paid off. Still looking for beavers. Let me see if that shows up in the journal. Probably not. It's super dark right now. So if you happen to see one, let me know. So this is a bit of a spoiler, but it will help me plan out future sessions. If I go hard on main content only, even if there is additional side content after returning to the family home, about how many hours of content remain as soon as I return home? Ish. You are not a beaver. You're an angry wolf. How many hours are remaining? Sorry. What's this edge of the map? No beavers up here. You said Beecher's Hope there are some? I like the sound of screaming deer. 2-ish? Okay. I'm just wondering if we're like, are we looking at like 5 to 10? Or like, are the credits gonna roll when I get to the house? West of the small dip in the river near the ranch. The Beecher's Hope Ranch or his ranch? I've seen 3 total. I obliterated one. The other one got away from me because of the bear. Head down there and check. Thanks, Mega Man. Lots of deer. West of the dip in the river. Probably this guy? Alright, let's try looking up here. That's stock hawk sound. Might be too high up from the river for them to spawn. I need outlaw vision. That's got to be the dip they're talking about, right? It's got to be around here somewhere. Maybe. Try getting down on the road at least. Easier to see them now, at least. This is way too north of the Beecher's Hope area, but the river doesn't extend down to Beecher's Hope. We need to like look up an actual map. Check really quick. Red Dead Redemption Beaver's map. And it's basically all along this river, it says. Like from here up to here. So I'll just try to follow along it and see if we see any spawn. Wait, there's one. John, I swear to God. Better not to despawn when I get back up there. Two out of 5. Obliterated. It's like that new Cats movie where the railway cat just turns into dust. Explodes into dust. Spoilers for Cats, I guess. It's not a beaver. Normal beaver caw. I'm curious what sound beavers make. Come on, Beeves. It's for an important side quest. Probably the most involved side quest in the game. I imagine a lot of players don't even encounter beavers until they start this. That is a bird. Keep disintegrating the animals. Go like actually along the river.
Come on.
Worried about walking into waist deep water and just drowning here. Forget about them till they're convenient, and you just happen to have done it. As this one stands out just because, like, I feel like you probably wouldn't even run into beavers if you didn't know to look for them. They got a pretty specific habitat compared to just about every other animal. That is a bird. Flying beaver. Like if you already picked up the quest, since looking for Dutch puts you in this general area, maybe you run into one for the first time. Making sure they don't spawn further out from the river than I think they do.
Let's go.
I'm in your debt, sir. I can only offer you a little, but please.
Something about the open world character that you've just rescued, like trying to run across the map, like path to you to give you a reward. I don't know, it looks the same in lots of different games and it's very silly looking. I don't know what else they're supposed to do, but... Skyrim has it as well. Like, so it doesn't do like the extra awkward, like, zoom into their face when they get close enough to you to talk. Definitely saw one down here earlier. I feel like I should be able to trade for pelts. This is where I killed my last one. Whoa! Well, that sucks. I don't think that counted as a white horse anyway. Legs are hard to operate. Even when jumping. Oh, there's a couple of these. There was a pretty great video on Reddit recently of like these guys set up a drone to make it look like they had a third-person. Well, they literally had a third-person camera following them around, and tried to like reenact Grand Theft Auto. So every time they get in front of a door, they would like accidentally do the impotent jump in front of it. It's really, really well done. Let's see if I can find it and throw it in Discord later. John Quapston. That is another bear. Wow, that went much more easily than the last one.
Slow down.
Bird has good-looking animation over tight controls. That makes sense. So I came here earlier on the Dutch mission. Maybe there are some beavers further in. Barely. Less foliage around here, that's nice. Easier to see. It's a lot of wolves. Can I get like a pack of beavers? What's the oh shit. There's a word that means counting word for animals. I forget what it is. What's the counting word for beavers? Bevel of beavers. Collective noun. I thought it was something that ended in like NYM, but probably just thinking of demonym. Colony of beavers. Nice. That is a shadow, not a beaver. So I've been at this for a while. Almost as long as Liar's Dice. Do I want to bail on it? So I can go to the other river. I think I had more luck there. Appreciate it, Robin. To balance my, like, faux consternation when Andrew is being Andrew. Hey, there's one! Ooh, I'm so excited. God, it's invincible. If you despawn. Deadshot beaver. Hey, I didn't get an animation. Bonus. Beaver fur plus beaver meat. I think I need 3 more. Kidding.
First try.
Raccoon fur, beaver fur, 2 more. I gotta find somewhere between like Steve Harvey on Family Feud being shocked whenever anyone mentions penises. Two more beavers. Come on, game. Wait, is that one? Oh shit. Maybe that's the key, is that stuff just doesn't spawn right at the river. They do not want... The auto-aim, like, aims a few pixels below where they actually are. Don't you dare.
Lie still.
Oh, Marty.
That one nearly gave me a haircut.
Beautiful voice.
There's my Wilhelm scream and dudes. Hey, speak of the devil.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I don't have to work for like a week and a half. Aw, yeah.
I'm out of town this week. She's just been...
No, I get to be home. And also, happy Hanukkah.
She has a green shirt, so it looks like she has no shirt.
It's, After Dark. Marstead After Dark.
Yeah, look at the webcam in the corner.
Yeah, kind of...
You're invisible.
It looks like I have a red bra.
No, it's because of the background.
Let's go.
Yeah, Ben shattered a glass.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah, he jumped in the...
Was it a good glass?
It was... No, it was like the Jameson glass.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, although I guess he already ruined my favorite mug. I got this badass mug at a Ren fair, so I can't get another one. And he broke it.
Well, you
Oh,
can
is
get
this
another one,
Red Dead
but-
Redemption?
It is, yeah. I'm looking for a beaver.
Really?
Yeah, I need one more beaver fur to complete a quest. He keeps getting in the cabinet with the glasses, and I keep getting in there and stopping him before he causes havoc. Adult jokes are officially on the table.
So, let me tell you a funny story. So yesterday I spent all day in the lab measuring the lengths of fibers, which is fun for like the first time, but when you have to do like 300 of them, it's not as fun. We use this thing called Luna. It sends a light pulse down, the light pulse comes back. You figure out how long it took, you know the speed of light in that material, boom, you know how long it is. Yay! So I'm just sitting there, you know, making a Luna scan, changing channels, making a Luna scan. Okay, so Pat was there too with me. And another lady.
Who was there too?
I'm sorry, my coworker Pat was also there helping. And this lady Tanya was also there in the lab doing her own thing. And so, of course, you know, this is very boring work, so we get to talking. And Pat was talking about how he had to bring along some of his female friends to go see Sex and the City, or else he would have felt weird about it.
What's wrong with seeing Sex and the City by yourself?
You know, side note, I kind of felt like, and there's a lot of nuances that are not the same, but just that general feeling of being like the odd man out, that's how it feels like to be a woman in science.
Oh, this going to see Sex and the City by himself?
As a dude, yeah.
I see, yeah.
A feeling of like, wait, I shouldn't be here.
Right.
Anyway.
In a room with like 11 male professors and...
Oh, yeah, it's been more than that.
Getting an email that's addressed to everyone that opens with, "Hey, gents."
No. The thing about that is I didn't even get the email. I was left off the email when I should have been on it.
I think the word guys is sufficiently like non-gendered right now, but
yeah,
gents is definitely not. I always roll my eyes. I get it a lot on stream, not on this channel, but like watching people on Twitch will often be like, "Where are we dropping, boys?" And it's like,
where are we dropping everyone?
Or the RuneScape subreddit is really bad. Like whenever women share content on there, people joke like there's no such thing as girls, or you're not welcome here, or you're just pretending. It's like, please don't. Stop that. Please, thank you.
Well, anyway, so we're talking about Sex and the City, and Pat is like, you know, he loves that show, I love that show, and he's like, you know, I think I'm weird because I actually like Burger, and without missing a beat, I just went, fuck that asshole. Fuck him.
Well, they don't know who Burger is, I assume.
If you've seen Sex and the City, you know. But anyway, Tanya, who was listening to us talking, just started laughing her ass off because...
Burger is played by, I forget the actor's name, Ron Livingston. He's in Office Space. Probably most people know him.
Anyway, he's the worst. The worst of her boyfriends. Because she, like, writes a book. He's a writer, too. So she writes a book, and it does really well, and his book doesn't do so well, and he feels really, like... You know, I mean, fine. I feel fine being bummed about it, but he's, like, jealous of her success, which, okay, fine. Flawed character. He just was not very mature.
If she referenced a character from any show, I would ask her to provide some sort of introduction for who she's talking about. Not specifically Sex and the City.
Anyway, so there's always this weird dynamic where she can't be proud of her success because it makes him feel bad, which is kind of shitty.
It's a shitty character. But that's the backstory to know.
Anyway, no. Then they break up, right? And then he comes to her apartment like, hey, I really want to give this a shot. Let's do it. I'm sorry for being a dick. You know, so he comes and he spends the night, and in the morning, there's a post-it note on her fridge that says, I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me. He broke up with her on a fucking post-it note. Pussy ass little bitch.
Excuse me, scrotum
ass little bitch. I'm so sorry. You're right.
Instant Marstead after dark. You guys weren't kidding. They were talking about you minutes before you appeared.
Oh.
Because I'm hunting beavers. Like, well, it's Christmas Eve. I don't want to turn it into Marstead after dark. I need one more beaver.
Yeah, I was listening to Poker Face came on the radio station, and there's a line where she's like, I'm bluffing with my muffin. Because I'm bluffing with my muffin. And
it's baiting those really annoying, stupid reporters who are like, excuse me, Lady Gaga, what is a disco stick?
It's a penis.
What?
He was just destroying beavers.
I completely obliterated a beaver. I like shot it with a too high of a caliber gun and it disintegrated. Just screwed him.
Is there a order of magnitude guy, XKCD guy?
Yeah.
Did he do one where it's like, what if someone ejaculated at the speed of light?
I feel like that would be outside the purview of Randall Monroe. I don't think that's the kind of question that he would take.
I feel like I've read this before.
Probably. It was probably they did the math post on Reddit, be my guess. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's Saturday morning breakfast.
That's true. Randall's more family friendly.
He did what if someone threw a baseball at the speed of light? Very different things.
Let's go.
One more beaver. Come on, game. We've been at this for a minute now. There it is!
Whoa.
Don't obliterate it.
Oh, it just doesn't care. Oh, it's trying to get away. Oh, it was waddling. Oh, poor little guy.
Doesn't matter what the object is, straight.
This is nasty.
Beaver.
Alright. I would say it's for a good cause, but it's totally not. It's so that a guy can jump off a cliff with a glider and kill himself.
Although actually, if you're lost in space and you need to get somewhere and you need to like shoot something out to get that momentum and kick you back, you could just masturbate.
I feel like there are probably more efficient ways to...
Your dick would be exposed to the cold emptiness of space.
The vacuum of space?
Yeah, it's probably gonna rip your dick off. Yeah, maybe don't do that.
I think you have bigger problems.
Is it gonna rip your dick off? That's a good question. I think so.
You are right for once. I was right for once. Yes, kitties, I know you're starving. So there are no girls on the internet meme I talked about a second ago. There's a subreddit called Self-Aware Wolves, which is when people are like so close to being on the right track, like when they're like, oh, so you're just saying that anyone can identify as whatever gender they want and that's okay. It's like, yeah, that's what we're saying. That's exactly what we're saying. You got it. Congratulations. But like the Are No Girls on the Internet thing is the same concept where like you'll see the 4chan post about it that's like, we just assume that everyone's default. It's like, yes, that's the problem.
Right.
That like male is default and deviation from male has to be explained or given some kind of justified. Yeah. Why is this character a girl? Because 51% of the population are girls? Like, why do I have to justify it?
Are you gonna find those things I asked for or not?
I got it. Chill out.
Oh, hello again, sir. Oh, you are kind. Thank you for bringing me these materials. I'll be cooking up a batch of adhesive in no time.
Glad to be of service. Let me know when your machine's ready for your maiden voyage.
Oh, I will indeed, sir. I'd like witnesses to the glory of man soaring through the air like an eagle. An eagle, sir! Oh, my name's not Charles Kinnear.
Why did he want beaver pellets?
Because he's making glue for his glider.
Ah.
But I have to come back in a few days to see it. Context of it would do X thing at least as the first thing for a change. Oh, that would be for one then. I think I know what you mean. So like, it would disintegrate your arm for one, right? For two, it would do this. Alright, we'll see if this quest change is allowed to continue given that she got scared by the random bandits later. Random roving band of bandits.
Oh, say that 12 times fast.
Roving bandits.
Roving, not roaming?
Roving.
What the hell is roving?
It's like roaming, but it kind of implies...
I guess like a rover then, huh? I know, Ben, you're so hungry. Yeah, it's nice at work. They came in to our offices in the morning and were like, just so you know, you're getting kicked out at 2. And we're all like, twist our arms. So, I don't know, I guess they're closing down the lab, so maybe they have to like
they
make
let
sure
you leave
everyone's
early
gone.
because of
I don't know.
Christmas.
Or because it's Christmas. So I was like, I'll take a free half day, because people who took this day's vacation have to like take full vacation day off.
Roving Roombas. Yeah, especially if it's in the context of Resident Evil 6 Roombas. Excuse me.
He'd be eligible to advance to first base, which is also in a crater, right?
I love XKCD.
He could climb down there.
Los Hermanos.
Let's go.
Hola to you as well. Do I have to open that main gate? I guess that might be the case. Wasn't sure if it was like if it was a texture or not. It was.
Still alive, I see.
Hey, nuns.
Good morning, madam.
Oh, she become a nun?
Good morning, miss.
She did say she wanted to go see the sisters at Las Hermanas.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
I was looking for a girl by the name of Eva, I think. Wanted to see if she was doing okay.
Are you one of her special friends?
No, I just helped her.
I'm John, but I'm not a John.
She said she was coming in here.
Oh, she came and she went. A man came for her. Turned out maybe he was her calling after all.
Okay. Thank you, sister.
Oh, I think they said they were going to El Sepulcro. But who knows? She wasn't much of one for the truth.
Hope I wasn't getting scammed earlier.
Forgive me, lady.
Jesus Christ!
And isn't it just beautiful today, my dear?
Mr. Marston.
Sorry.
God.
It wasn't on purpose.
Fucking mowing down nuns here.
Hola, senor.
Hasta luego.
Sorry. Complimented her, so it evens out.
Is that how that works?
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'll do this next step of the side quest and we'll wrap a little early today since we went over a couple times before. Prepare to head over to Cat and Donovan's for Christmas. I know, Marty, you're dying. I should have vacuumed up all the shattered glass. It was not a clean break either. There were tons of tiny little pieces.
Oh.
But be careful in the
kitchen.
Yeah, regardless. Legs are hard. But bumping into people feels really bad.
Well, yeah, don't do it.
It's like really hard to not do.
What are you doing, amigo?
Oh, that's not good.
Nothing.
Why'd you kill her?
I didn't kill her. I wouldn't do a thing like that. Sure, I'd hit her, but
Why'd you kill her? And why are you digging her up?
What business is it of yours, huh? Oh. You still want to lay with her? Huh?
You sold her. You let her go.
No. A good whore never leaves, man.
Do I get my money back now or after I've killed you?
It's just a goddamn whore, man. A goddamn filthy whore.
Once again,
as you say,
Rockstar is cynical.
Just a whore. Now come on.
Fair, you get slow motion.
Now you get to kill him, because the story wanted me to kill him here.
Don't think you'll be wanting this no more, friend.
Ava and Peril complete. She's dead.
Yep, you did it.
Good job.
The first time I ran into that quest, I just shot that guy because he was like beating this woman, and he was like, "Pay me $200 and you can have her." So I just shot him in the face, and it was like, "You failed the quest." And then he spawned later, and now she's dead, and he's dead too. Strictly worse outcome. All right, future Marstead, you got a couple more stranger quests to do. Go do Love is the Opiate. You probably have to track down and find a white stallion. The one you found earlier this session didn't count. Didn't look like it was white. Do I Know You and Lights, Camera, Action, and then I think it's time to push the main story after that. So let's see what you got. Oh, and you got this other quest, Northwest Corner, California. Yeah, we gotta have the weird Deadly Premonition whistle, right? Get somewhere to save really quick. I think it just auto-saved, but in an abundance of caution. Yes, please. Turn console off.